The Arizona Coyotes own the Detroit Red Wings this season, winning 4-1 in Detroit to sweep the season series. Thanks so much for tuning into the PHNX Coyotes postgame show. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Petey, Craig. We got Danielle behind the Mac. We have a live studio audience of Raz and Chase. Woo! Okay, great. The Coyotes won. That feels rare.
Yeah, that music was unfamiliar to me when we came in.
I barely remember Scottsdale Mom at this point. Your thoughts?
I think they needed a win.
Yeah.
It surprised me that it came against a team that is really fighting for a playoff spot again. We said this over the last few times that the Coyotes play teams that need to win. Detroit needs to win. They lost 7 straight coming into this game that you expected better from a team in a playoff push. I know Larkin's out, but they still got a lot of guys in the lineup. I thought the Coyotes looked good. I thought their line matchups, when you talked about that Cooley, Gunther, Bjugstad line, I thought they had a lot of not Bjugstad. Why did I say that?
Keller?
No, Kraus.
Oh.
Kraus with 11 and 92. I thought that line looked good, and then Bjugstad up with the top line with 8 and 9. I thought those two lines really looked good, and they finally got their legs underneath them. This game doesn't end the way it does without Ingram playing well in the first period, though. With their amount of penalties, they take 4 penalties in the first period again. Can't stay out of the penalty box. Penalty kill was good, but Ingram was better. And I was not impressed with the Detroit Red Wings.
Can I say something now?
Yeah,
I feel like they needed a loss
Oh, Craig.
for the reverse standings. I'm just saying,
Craig
Senators are playing the Blue
Craig
Jackets
is
tonight.
all on this tonight,
It was
but
a
it's
3-point
like
game, and I need another Artem on the back end of the Coyotes blue line, Artem Levshunov, who I've been talking about for a year now. We just talked about draft prospects the other day and how there are 4 defensemen that could be top pair guys in that next grouping after Macklin Celebrini. What comes after that, guys?
I don't know. You had the name today.
You can't remember, can you?
You told me today 3
Are
times.
name changers coming after that? Well, maybe.
It's the tier of top line players and approaching all-star would be the tier.
Okay. So do those guys change your franchise?
No.
Do the Coyotes have franchise players?
Craig.
Franchise-changing players in their system?
Craig, I don't want this team to
put that
lose the
Just
last
put it out.
15 straight games of the season.
No?
It's not fun. It's not good
Well,
morale.
it's far worse for them than it is for us.
It's far worse for them, but I like to hear Scottsdale Mom. I like to celebrate wins.
The reality is, when you look at what they've got coming ahead in this homestand, they got the Devils, the Stars, even Seattle's been on the Stars twice, the Rangers, Canucks. Like, there's a lot of losses built into the schedule. I am surprised they beat Detroit in Detroit, and you could check my BetMGM Sportsbook app to prove that because I didn't think they'd win this game. But I think this team honestly, we were talking with Craig's entourage, and we were talking about culture and losing versus draft picks, and you can't lose 16. I just think that last time they went through that 14-game loss streak, I think the morale was so bad, and I think it was a drain on the coaching staff, the staff, and the players. They're going to lose plenty of games.
Okay, so like 13 of 16?
Yeah,
Sure.
they're going to lose. They're going to
fine.
They're still going to lose a lot of games. This is a big,
right.
and it's surprising to me to see Detroit, a team that hasn't been in the playoffs for 8 years, come up with an effort like this in their home building.
Completely agree.
Crowd walked out and were booing.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing.
7 straight losses. And listen, Dylan Larkin's out of the lineup, and he's an important player, but come on. Suck it up. You're in a playoff chase, and they just look lifeless. They look terrible.
Yeah, they did.
It's really surprising.
Conversely, you know who I thought looks really good again tonight? We're going to give him his flowers. Is Logan Cooley?
Yeah, he and Gunther. Gunther hit so many posts tonight on the power play.
Yeah,
and the two of them together, it's just been. It's a magic, if I do say so myself.
That sounded really close. Like, maybe you're the mullet magician. I don't know.
It's a mystery. It's an absolute mystery. But
I mean, we have AI, so who knows?
Who knows?
People have no idea who the magician is.
I'm going to address these pants issues, though. Caleb and I are going to have. Is Caleb coming to the thing at
Caleb, are you coming to the pregame party
against the Stars? I might wear capris. I was saying I was going to go with a suit. I first said I was going with a suit, but I think I'm changing my mind.
How about a suit but with shorts?
Don't laugh. Caleb, let me know if you're going. Just curious.
Oh my God. Sean DePaz is happy though because this game helped his Buffalo Sabres, who had a big win tonight. So I know that Sean is with me in celebrating this win. Let's just enjoy it. We can't change the fact that it happened. Yes, Sean is here in the chat. But let's take a look at the numbers in this one, presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Shots on goal, pretty even. Detroit had 28, Coyotes had 27. Red Wings 1 for 4 on the power play. Coyotes 0 for 2. However, they did score shorthanded. Faceoffs. Red Wings actually carried faceoffs here, 62% to the Coyotes, 38%. Shot attempt 63 for the Coyotes, 56 for the Red Wings.
Yeah, it's funny when you look at these stats. Okay, the shots on goal were fairly even, and I think Ingram had some of the tougher saves. To be honest, I think the ones actually the Coyotes hit more posts than had big saves going the other way. But it's interesting that when you look at the faceoffs. And I know we talk about faceoffs, and you hear a lot about faceoffs and how important they are. I think this shows they're not. I've never been a believer in that stat. I just don't believe they're 38% in the faceoff circle, and they win 4-1.
It's situational, right?
Situational, and it's funny when you look at Logan Cooley went 0 for his first 9. 0 for his first 9. He wins his last 2, so he ends up 2 for 11. That's one of the things when you talked about it. It's funny, we had this Discord chat with our members, our diehards, between periods, and one of them says, well, what's next in Gunther's development? And I think with Dylan Gunther and Logan Cooley both, it's about their strength. I mean, they're still little kids. Yeah. And I think faceoffs is one of those areas where that really shows, and I think that's one of the problems Logan Cooley has in the faceoff circles. He's not strong enough yet. And so I think that will progress as he grows, because if you're going to be a centerman in this league, you got to win faceoffs. Like Sidney Crosby's the #1 faceoff guy in the National Hockey League. Because he's the best player, and you can't put the best player on the ice if he doesn't win draws. You're no good in the offensive zone as a #1 center if you can't win draws.
They should hire Brad Richardson for a summer
to teach him how to take draws.
Yeah, aside from the strength thing, which they definitely need to work on. And listen, a lot of people will tell you with faceoffs, you get better as time goes along. But yeah, Brad knew all the tricks. He had every trick in the bag.
Him and Antoine Vermette, two guys that were really good in the faceoff circle, and they cheated.
Yep.
But you need to learn how to cheat.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm curious about that faceoff stat. I hope that increases for Logan Cooley. I think that's something he needs to work on, needs to get stronger at and better at if he's going to continue to progress as what the future holds for this as potentially a #1 center. I think he needs to be better.
Absolutely. But he did score his first shorthanded goal of his career tonight, his 12th goal of the season, and set up by who else but Dylan Gunther. So great way to get things going today, and it's really been great to see him kind of start to flourish. It just feels like ever since Dylan Gunther got here, those two have really been clicking, and it's been something special to watch. And you want to talk about the future, that's something that absolutely excites me. But we talked about Connor Ingram and how crucial he was in this game, and this comes on the back of Karel Vejmelka having a really good game last game. So the goalies are kind of doing what they need to do. I know obviously the Coyotes didn't win the last game, but Veggie was great and Ingy was great tonight, and for that reason, Connor Ingram has that desert dog in him. 27 saves for a .964 save percentage. Congrats to Connor Ingram, tonight's desert dog.
It's funny that this team goes as their goaltending goes. And when they were on that streak, he's staying in that playoff picture, it was because their goaltenders were playing well. When they stopped playing well, they fell out. I thought Ingram looked good today. I think one of the things what we see about Connor Ingram is he looks good when he's playing solid. When he's square to the puck, when he's not sliding around, and he just looks in control and calm, and it looks really easy. And I thought he looked like that tonight.
Connor Ingram has 2 wins since January 22nd.
Wow.
They're both against the Detroit Red Wings.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So coming into into tonight,
Connor had 1 goal in 2 games.
Connor, he was 2-0 with a .956 save percentage against Detroit in his career, and he only padded those stats tonight. So you talk about teams that certain goalies play well or don't play well against, and I think Nashville for Ingy is one. I think we can add Detroit. Of course, they're in the East, so you only see them twice a year, but file Detroit under teams that Ingy plays really well against. But great for his confidence as well.
Yeah,
Craig, confidence boosting.
He needs to get it back a little bit. I felt like he slipped a little bit after the new year, and he had the injury as well, so he was out of the lineup a little bit. But he's an important piece for them going forward. I wonder if he's even more important than Karel Vejmelka based on what we've seen this season. You at least want to have one of those guys. Their prospects aren't close yet. Let's face it. We talked about this when we talked about prospects the other day. Goaltenders take a long time to develop, and I don't think any of their guys is even close. I mean, none of their top prospects are even in the AHL yet, so this is going to be a long process. Connor Ingram's going to play a big role for the Coyotes for the next couple seasons.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because when we look at the contract situations of both of those guys, Vejmelka's got a year left.
Yep.
And then they're going to have to make a decision with him. And I'd be surprised. We talked about their prospects. They're not ready.
Nope.
I mean, they're not going to be ready when Vejmelka's contract's up because they're still extremely young. But that doesn't mean someone else can't take that spot. I know that you've got Ingram locked up until 25, 26. I think he's their guy. I've liked him better this season. I think when he's good, he's better. I think it was at the All-Star break. I think he deserved to be in the conversation for an All-Star game. So I think it's going to be interesting what they do over the summer, Craig. I know we're not talking about summer stuff yet, but the Vejmelka discussion is going to start happening because teams are still looking for goaltenders, and they're looking for them in the offseason too. So does Vejmelka start being bandied about in before the draft?
Yeah, I just don't know what his value is now. It's hard to measure, and that's something that we'll have to ask in the summer when you get a better sense of it from people around the league. But yeah, hasn't had the best of seasons, so I think some of the shine is off him right now. What are you laughing at?
Did Caleb say, "Are you going, Caleb? Like type fast enough." He's probably hungover.
Caleb said, "When did Craig take Petey's role as a downer?"
We talked about it before the show tonight that we wanted to switch roles. So, Petey's number 8 on the Andre Tourigny board.
I must have.
He's the happy guy.
I must have missed that conversation. And somehow I'm always the one who's keeping the vibes high, it feels like.
So that's fair.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Well, the vibes will be high at our takeover on Sunday, March 24th with our pregame party at the Four Peaks 8th Street Pub at 3 p.m. Sunday, March 24th. We hope to see everybody there. There's still tickets available to the pregame party. Tickets include food and drink, and there's still one takeover ticket remaining. So if there's one person out there who wants to go to the game, you're not alone because you're with a group of us. It's going to be a lot of fun. And your ticket to the game also, you get your ticket to the pregame party. So hope to see everybody there. It's going to be a blast. If you're a diehard, you get 20% off. And also diehards, we had a great Q&A in the second intermission tonight. The questions were flowing. It was a lot of fun. You also get Craig's prospect report coming tomorrow, diehard only content, just many perks to becoming a diehard. So join the family today. Petey's been doing a great job this whole time of keeping everybody up to date about the events coming into town, all the concerts, the games. And if you're not on Game Time, what are you doing? Let me tell you, Game Time is so easy to use. Not only are they the cheapest tickets, they have flash deals, and you can see exactly what the view from your seat would be if you chose that.
Feature. That's really cool.
It's really cool because sometimes, especially if you're like, I've used Game Time like in LA to go to an Angels game. It's like, I've never been there. I don't know what the view is going to be.
Have you used it in Europe? When you vacationed in Europe, Leah?
Oh, well, Craig, I haven't been to Europe in a while.
Let's not talk about that now.
Game Time, check it out. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
And then take the money you saved on Game Time and put it into the BetMGM Sportsbook app, the official sportsbook app of PHNX. There was so much going on in the studio tonight. We had the Suns here, Coyotes here. The Diamondbacks had a show going on. The Rising are actually playing again, and I didn't know this until I talked to Owen from the Rising. You can actually bet on Rising.
You can,
which is going to be scary for me because, by the way, here's my betting tip: every soccer match, 0-0. Just put it on now because it's going to be tied 0-0, guaranteed.
Or just
winner.
Tied in general.
Yeah, no, it just sucks. It goes 0-0. Hey, what's the score? Oh, it's 0-0. No, really? Surprise. So you can be part of the action too with the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Get in on the app and get on the edge of your seat. I got in on the action today. I got Buffalo. I took Buffalo money line. That paid as Sean to pause. Buffalo is a wagon right now. I also
back in it, TP. They're back in it.
I took Patrick Kane.
Did you? Point. Oh, look at you.
Sorry, I went again. Sorry, Coyotes fans.
Did he get it?
Yeah, he did. Of course he did. It paid. Okay. And the only way to get on a heater is to get in the game. And that's easy to do. Sign up to the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Use the bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through BetMGM Sportsbook mobile application for at least $5. You receive $150 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. Check out the show notes for full details. And now, listen to the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-UP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117. For confidential help, Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
So DePaz is right. Buffalo is a wagon, and they've
We won't be denied.
And I'm winning. So I'm curious. Like when I said Craig has an entourage, am I lying?
No.
Got an intern and a mentee here, right?
Yes.
Is that what you call a mentee?
Yes.
Okay. Both here in the studio. And as they're watching through this, they're trying to learn of all the aspects of go on in sports journalism and all the things behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
What they've learned today, as Leah and I both did our ad reads, right? And they're learning about that's how you sell the business. You have to make money. So you have to do ad reads. He won't do ad reads. Way too bougie in his contract. Won't do ad reads.
It's true.
That's one of the reasons. Like we can do shows by ourselves because we do ads. He can't. Won't read ads.
Won't use
That's
chopsticks.
also in the contract.
Won't use chopsticks either. Surprised the hell out of us today.
Yeah.
He had a roll and he wouldn't use chopsticks. Surprised. I thought bougie Craig would have been all over that. Okay. Back to the show.
Back to the show. Another guy that came up in our Discord discussion earlier was Michael Carcone, who scored his 19th of the season, which you love to see. He's just one goal away from being a 20-goal scorer in the National Hockey League, which I think, especially considering the limited ice time he gets, the fact that he's been a healthy scratch, especially in the second half of the season, clearly a huge bulk of these goals came in the first half. But really happy for a guy like Michael Carcone, and I really hope that he hits the 20-goal mark.
It's amazing when you think where he was a year ago, right? This is a guy who was battling just to get a chance in the NHL. I wrote the story last year about how he had to serve as his own agent, didn't have representation for a while, and now he's a 20-goal scorer, which is, Petey, you talked about this on the show the other day. That's a really hard benchmark to get to in the National Hockey League, 20 goals. He's one away. He's going to get there. Great story for him. It's nice to see that he's rebounded. We all talked about the unsustainable shooting percentage earlier in the season. He wasn't going to shoot 36% for the rest of the season, but he cooled off big time. As you mentioned, he wasn't in the lineup as much. There were some other parts of his game that Andre Tourigny wasn't happy about, but he's back in there now, and it's nice to see him getting going again.
Yeah, and one of the things that's funny, though, is he was putting up those kind of numbers early in the season when he's playing a fourth-line role with very limited minutes. He's talking about under 10 minutes a game that he was playing, and I think where you're seeing this resurgence that you're seeing in him right now is because he's playing on third line minutes. Like he's getting an opportunity to play with the injuries that are up above him after the trade deadline, and there's spots that are open, and he's getting an opportunity to play. There's never been a question if Michael Carcone can provide offense. I mean, he's a guy that can provide secondary offense. He gets pucks to the net. I think he gets the net extremely well. I think there's a lot of good things from the blue line in. I think the concern about his game has been from the red line back, how he reads the rush coming back through the back check, how he reads the D-zone coverage in the defensive zone, and sometimes that can frustrate a coach. And it's nice when they provide offense. We talked about Schmaltz and Keller last time. Great when you provide offense, but if you end up minus every night, it's not good. So I think Carcone, what he needs to spend his time over this summer is he really needs to you got to spend time in front of the video, and you've got to learn those defensive zone reads. He's got to be a stronger player, especially what they're expecting him. He's going to be a bottom six guy for a while.
Yep.
It's just reality. So you better be responsible defensively.
I feel like we need an emoji for Michael Carcone. We have one from Matthias Pacelli.
I know.
It can't be this, obviously. But by the way, boy, do I have a story coming on Michael Carcone, and I'm not giving any hints. You know it already. But man, do I have a story coming on Michael Carcone.
Because I didn't read what...
Because Petey famously doesn't read our text.
See, but this is what I won't do. I won't throw Petey under the bus by telling you that he never reads the runtimes and never comes prepared to shows. I wouldn't do that on the air.
At least you're a stand-up guy, Craig, and you would never do that to me on air. That's 100% true, though. I have no idea what's going on around here, like ever. I never know our schedule.
It's also true that I don't read ads and I won't use chopsticks. So
that's
here we go.
True. So there we go. Yeah,
I'm waiting for the thing that you guys are going to throw me
we're
under
just
the
glad
bus.
when you show up.
Yeah, amen to that.
That makes it sound like I don't show up sometimes.
Well, sometimes you take
when you dare to go on vacation, it's a real annoyance to both of us.
Craig and I by ourselves, and by the end of that stretch, we're in trouble. We're really in
trouble. We had that week where you were in Toronto, and we were
the All-Star break.
By the end of that week, it was.
Danielle's like, "Can Leah please come back?"
Oh my gosh,
we need you.
One more guy I want to give flowers to. It's Nick Bjugstad dad, who is just on a heater. Since having his daughter, 4 goals in his last 5 games, 17th of the season, he's just been unbelievable. He's almost a lock for anytime goal on BetMGM right now. So kudos to Nick Bjugstad. I just wanted to give him his flowers.
I hit him on the Minnesota game. I hit him as an anytime. I did not.
And that's a lock.
That's a lock in Minnesota. It's funny though. He's a guy that didn't go at the trade deadline because I don't know if his numbers were good enough. I don't know if he was playing with the pace that he played with a year ago when he went to Edmonton. But he's a guy that's still valuable, and he's very valuable for this team. And I think teams can look now as the playoffs get deeper and deeper and deeper when you need players like Nick Bjugstad in your lineup that might look at this and go, gosh, maybe we should have picked up a guy like Nick Bjugstad.
Yeah, I'm surprised there weren't bigger offers for that guy. He can really help a team.
Yep. I like what he does in the locker room. I like what he does for this group. I'm glad that he didn't get traded. I'm looking forward to what he can do over the next year.
Some of the best hockey he's ever played.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's happy here.
Yeah, he is.
So good.
Well, it was very interesting, I think, when we looked at the schedule last week and we had this was the deja vu week. And it was actually deja vu to the point that it was the identical results. Like, loss against Chicago, loss against Minnesota, win against Detroit. Who would have thought? Because Detroit was the one, like we always said, oh, Chicago's the win,
They were in the
Minnesota's
playoff position.
maybe a win, and then Detroit is definitely the loss. And here they are, beating Detroit twice in the span of a week when Detroit needed it most. They've now lost 7 straight, which is tough for them. You mentioned already that they've just been struggling lately. They're an example of a team that's also rebuilding.
For a very long time here. Like I talked to Max Bultman. People probably saw the story by now that I wrote about how difficult rebuilds are and how long they are, the reality of them. Max Bultman from The Athletic, he covers the Red Wings for them, mentioned that, a lot of people think it started in 2019 when Steve Yzerman came on board as the GM, but it really started in the 2016-17 season. The Red Wings have missed the playoffs for 7 straight seasons, which is the second longest drought in the NHL. This is from a team that had made it 25 straight seasons before that. Rebuilds are hard. You look at some of the pieces, the Lucas Raymond, Dylan Larkin's a nice player. Do they have the other support pieces? And this leads me into what Petey and I talked about today on an audio edition of the PHNX podcast. We talked more. We dove into rebuilds a little bit more. And if it sounds at the beginning like we both came ill-prepared and we're just going off my story, well, that's because that was the truth, because we both had very busy mornings.
Wow, great sell on that one.
Yeah, great sell. First of all,
it was a great discussion once we got into it.
First of all, if Sean DePaz, do not listen to the audio.
Oh,
only.
yeah, I heard they were not kind to Buffalo.
Well, it's not even not kind. We talk about rebuilds, and we went through success stories. We went through Chicago. Not you. We went through Colorado, Chicago, Tampa. We went through some of the Pittsburgh, some teams that really struggled and went through a rebuild and came out the other side with us. Yeah, see, Sean, poor Sean, who's got the longest drought.
Craig.
I'm sorry, Sean.
I didn't say it. See, and I protected you today too, Sean.
But what tied into this Detroit talk is all of those teams that won the cup and got through those rebuilds. They had very, very, very successful drafts that had a number 1 or a number 2 pick in them, if not 2 or 3 of those players. And the Buffalo Sabres have had 2 number 1 picks, both defensemen.
They had some centers at one point too, didn't they?
Yeah, well, I think, did Eichel play there? Sam Reinhart? Yeah. Was he a draft pick? Sam Reinhart.
Casey Middlestad?
And Eichstead. That's Casey Middlestad and Jack Eichel mix. Yeah. But they had those high draft picks, but the 2 forwards, Reinhart and Eichel, didn't pan out to where they were successful enough, and Buffalo had to move them on. Now they've got 2 defensemen there, and they don't have that top-end scoring, so I don't know where they're going to go. To the point of this, Detroit, when you look at their draft picks, they haven't had those high picks.
Nope.
Sider's a 5. Larkin's a 17.
They haven't had higher than 4 during the entire rebuild.
So they haven't had it, so I don't know why people think this is the playoff team. And you know who has worse picks? Ottawa.
Yeah.
Like their picks are even worse, so you can't compare them to those other teams that are driving for a Stanley Cup. So if you want to hear more about rebuilds and where the Coyotes fit into that and what we thought about their draft picks and their timelines, tune in.
Sean said, hey, and I'll bleep, hey, what the F, guys?
Yeah, sorry.
It did end up being a pretty good show, actually.
It's a good show, and it's full of a lot of information on draft picks and what it really takes and how long it really takes.
Yeah. How many takes was it, by the way?
Yeah, it took me 3 to get the intro done.
Don't worry, I cut that part out.
Leah cut it out. I hope you kept
tomorrow, 9 a.m., wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, I don't know where else people get their podcasts, but wherever you get your podcasts, 9 a.m., make sure you check it out, audio only, because we don't have a live show tomorrow, so you can listen to that. And despite whatever they just sold you, I promise.
No, it's good.
No, it was a good show. It really was.
Bless your Sean.
And it was moderately uplifting for Coyotes fans, I thought. Moderately.
Yeah. And you know what else will be uplifting? 3 hours earlier on the website will be my Coyotes prospect report, which appears at 6 a.m. about an hour after Petey and I get up.
Yes,
so
I'll be awake.
Yep.
Diehards only, don't forget. All right, well, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Coyotes here. The Deja Vu week is over. They're heading home to face the New Jersey Devils before getting back on the road to Dallas.
Get a lot of rest for that Devil game, huh?
Yeah. They're flying home from Detroit tonight. Get home, probably off tomorrow. 2 p.m. game, Saturday against the Devils. Then a couple days off on the road to Dallas before heading home to face Seattle, which kicks off a long homestand.
The return of Joey Decourt, who, by the way, I will also be talking to. I'll have a story on Joey Decourt next week.
Heck yeah. Can't wait.
I'm just curious to see which New Jersey Devil team shows up. They're still playing in Dallas. Their plane ride is shorter, and they're staying closer to the airport than the Coyotes players. So my guess is they'll be in bed before the Coyotes. But I would expect them to have the day off tomorrow, too, before the game on Saturday. But this is a team that's starting to heat up, and it might be just a little bit too late with their coaching change.
And their addition of 2 goaltenders.
So it might be just a touch too late.
Yeah.
But their good players are playing
beating up Dallas
Timo
right now.
Meyer's absolutely in fuego right now. So take Timo Meyer anytime score Sunday. Saturday. Timo Meyer anytime.
Sunday's a special day.
Yes,
heard it here first.
It is. And Mike said no live show. WTF? We're going to a wedding tomorrow, so no live show. But that's why the audio episode's coming out.
You can still listen to the audio because
we filled in the cracks.
It'll get through.
Even though it didn't count as a show according to Leah tonight.
Oh my God, there were 11 shows.
That show doesn't count.
There were 11 shows at PHNX today, and the criteria was that means there were 11 in-studio shows that had producers sitting behind the Mac producing them. We had the studio space taken up. And they're upset because their audio episode they recorded at home doesn't count as one of the 11.
I feel like producers are a little high and mighty. If I'm not involved in the show, then it's not a show.
To end this
it's not a
stream
show. I'll
right
be muted
now.
the rest of the night.
Wow. All right. Well, after this long day, a lot of people are going to need an OGs tonight. So make sure you stock up on your OGs, whatever it is you're looking for, whether you're vegan and you want the natural OGs, the big OGs, obviously
How
the
big
indica.
Are the big OGs?
They're big.
They're 100 milligrams with 10 milligram
and,
sections.
Yeah.
Like pie slices. Not that I would know.
Maybe we'll bring those to the St. Patty's
Do they do
party.
the pie cuts? That'd be kind of cool. Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool, actually.
They also have the Sleep Edition gummy, Microdose, Happy Balance, whatever it is you're looking for, scratch made here in Arizona, and they are delicious. So to learn more about OG's gummies and where you can find them, head on over to ogsbrands.com. Must be 21 or older to enjoy.
And then go to America's thirst stop, gas stop. And after the OGs, you need the original diehards favorite snack stop shop, CWP. You need Circle K. And CWP found the magic. What do we call him? There he is, right there. CWP. He just popped it. He just appeared. He found
he sensed you.
Yeah, he did. He discovered the magic of the Circle K plain kettle cooked chips, and they are elite.
It worked.
It did work. He ate them and they won. It's a thing. I swear it's a thing. And the best way to enjoy all that Circle K has to offer is to become part of their membership program, the Inner Circle. Save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. Chauncey Billups. Save 3 cents per gallon every day after that. Get every 6 item free on a selection of Circle K products, including their pizza, their coffee, and their ice cold fountain drinks. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
It's really weird that my mind went to Chauncey Billups immediately as well. Maybe it's because they played Detroit.
Really?
But I was hearing the PA guy, Chauncey Billups.
Well,
That's what I heard.
Go that far.
Yeah, okay. So let's get to the serious part of the story. The serious part of the show. The newsy part. There was some news this morning, very early. Not that early, actually, for Petey and me. We were
Wait, are we talking about
the thing?
Are we talking about the thing?
The thing?
Is it time for arena talk?
It's time for arena
talk.
Buddy, we worked on this.
Yeah, well, I thought that was pretty obvious what I was bringing up.
Yeah, but you got to cue her up.
Right.
You got to cue her up.
We got it.
Know.
We got it. It's all good.
We worked on that all day. And when I say we, mostly you.
Yeah, it was me.
But you should have said, Danielle, it's coming. Like, give her a nod. Like, give her a nod. It's coming.
We picked a great show to have a live studio audience.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
I'm like, wow, we're going to show, Raz is
cool
here a
we are.
lot. But
Look
Chase
how cool
is like, Chase, listen
these
to
guys aren't
look
organized
at
at
our
all.
show. And Petey is calling Craig out live on the air
Okay, let's
for
start.
messing up the segment.
Let's
Craig
redo-
is
Let's
threatening
start over
Redo
again, shall we?
segment 3.
Since we did 3 takes on the audio pod today, let's
Yeah.
do a second take here.
And Circle K. More details. Check out CircleK.com. Oh, it's arena talk time.
Good. That was good. Yes, we're going to talk arenas. You know, it's a very serious topic, though, so it felt a little off for this one because there was some big news this morning. I don't know if you all were on the online meeting. That was
Some of our diehards were.
There were a lot of diehards.
Were there?
Alex
Yes.
Morello was on this meeting, by the way, for the Arizona State Land Department's appeals board. So the news of the day, of course, which we already knew was coming and we already told you was coming, is that the Land Department approved the Coyotes application. So what comes from here, of course, is they have to publicly post it for auction. And we're expecting, what I've heard is that's probably happening early next week. And then we wait for the auction date. It's a minimum of 10 weeks. What I've been told is it's probably coming in mid-June, so it'll be a little longer. So there are a lot of ramifications. And can I say it now? The Discord thing, the questions?
Yeah.
All right. We opened this up for questions in the Discord to diehards only to ask us some questions about the arena. What did you want to know about whether it's the process, the sale, what comes after, whatever. I threw it open and let you ask questions. And I've been doing a lot of reporting. I've answered most of those questions already. I will have a story probably at some point next week if they post it publicly. But we wanted to take a look in the meantime, before all those other details come out, at some of the greater threats, I think, to this arena. Obviously, Coyotes fans have been through a lot already. And look, this is not a slam dunk. We know by now, we're hardened to this fact that
We're jaded.
the Coyotes arena is never a slam dunk. So we decided to take a look at probably the greatest threats to the Coyotes arena. So we're going to start with the first one that's been discussed quite a bit on social media recently, and that would be flooding.
There it is.
No, this is the.
that's
there
There it is. The floods.
Oh
I mean,
my God.
this looks like a 500-year flood to me, doesn't it? Does it look like that to you?
Yeah.
Petey, you live in this area. I mean, you guys are pretty concerned about floods, aren't you?
Surprisingly, I do live in this area, and I actually live in the exact same floodplain, and that is 100% true. I'm not reporting it. It's true. I pay the insurance on it, so I know there's not going to be a flood here. There's no concern. And when we talk about that floodplain, the Mayo Clinic's in that floodplain.
Yeah. There's Desert Ridge Mall
movie
too.
theaters, Desert Ridge. There's apartments. There's housing.
Yes.
Being in a floodplain in Arizona does not mean like living in a floodplain in New Orleans.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. When I lived in a floodplain in North Dakota, guess what? The Red River Valley overflowed and it ruined people's homes. You know what? That doesn't happen here. Not in the Phoenix metro area. There are points higher up in the high country that do have it, and I'm so sorry for the damage that floods do up there.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen here in the valley. There's so much flood mitigation and so many things, and flood barriers. They're actually building a new flood mitigation area just north of this floodplain right now on Happy Valley Road. This is not a concern. This is not a thing.
Are you sure? Because some people sent me headlines of past flash floods in Arizona and said, see, look, there's been flash floods.
There
So
have been flash floods
y'all
in
should
Arizona.
be worried about
Go up
this.
to Wickenburg. And then there have been flash floods here, but there have not been any flash floods in the metro area of Phoenix on the 101 and Scottsdale Road. Well, since they have driven cars, maybe in the horse times they did, but they don't now. It's just it's not a real legitimate.
And also
concern.
they mitigate for it. It's built into the plan.
It's
so
part of the plan when they build this building. They wouldn't build it without
I watched
it.
the video where they're talking about this is a serious concern that needs to be planned.
No, not a concern.
No, it's not.
Not
Just
a concern.
Stop
Zero.
pretending to be a reporter from out of town who actually knows what's happening
don't
here in
know.
Arizona, because you just sound
California
utterly
gets floods,
clueless.
Craig. We've seen them.
Utterly clueless.
They get floods.
Yes, they do.
Louisiana floods. Off the Mississippi River floods. Arizona, no.
There's something I'm really concerned about.
Yeah,
I don't think it's getting enough attention.
I agree.
It's a big plot of desert land. And I don't know, it makes me think about Area 51
It's true.
and the potential
that's
for alien invasion. So this is my biggest concern.
Aliens.
This is the thing that could derail the project. The potential for alien invasion in this piece of land is so great. I don't know how they can.
It's
move
open
forward with
desert.
this.
It's dark. I mean, what was the fire in the sky? It had happened in the White Mountains. I mean,
Happened
obviously
here.
they like Arizona.
So I've lived in Arizona since 1997. I have never seen a flood in the Phoenix metro area. I have seen aliens. We saw them on the. And if people think I'm kidding, look up lights over White Tank Mountains. Look it up.
Yeah, that's right.
It's real. The lights were real. It's a thing.
Fire in the sky too. I'm just saying. I'm
Like
thinking that they like to vacation here as much
more
as other people.
aliens than floods.
Yeah, probably so.
The anniversary of the Phoenix Lights was like
The Phoenix Lights.
yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Phoenix Lights. What year was that? 99? 2000? It was right in
Coincidence?
there. The Phoenix Lights.
That's very
Somebody
interesting.
Google it. We got Raz, get on that. Google the Phoenix Lights over South Mountain.
Petey,
It was a thing.
Do you want to talk about any of these concerns, or you want me to roll with it here?
You can go ahead.
When I think about apocalypses, I think about locusts.
Oh!
I'm concerned about locusts.
Oh, can you
I
imagine
mean,
that?
what would you do? This would drive people away from
Well, did you
this
guys see
entertainment
that
center.
a bee swarm stopped a tennis match today?
See? It could happen.
97.
97 was the lights.
See, lights. Locusts, and again, Have seen that. Have seen locusts here. Maybe not a swarm. I've seen 2 or 3 on my patio at a time, which again, I've seen more than I've seen flooding.
And Leah brought up one more that I hadn't even thought about before she texted it to me. But the worst part about this one is that you don't know what's coming until it's too late.
Yeah, it's so true. And that, of course, is the sandworms from Dune. I mean, sand, it's a desert.
It could happen.
Who says, we don't know.
That could swallow up the entire arena.
I mean, they could be ready to drop the puck on opening night and the sandworm could appear.
Could happen. Much more likely, again, a sandworm from Dune is still much more likely to hit the arena by the 101 in Scottsdale Road than a flood.
Should I go back to that other slide that we saw initially?
Yeah.
This is my other concern, and it's probably,
if you
people say you watch
binge
too much TV. I might be a victim of watching too much TV. But when I think about recent series that have really made an impact on me, I think of The Last of Us, and I worry about a fungi takeover of the world. And this is what it could look like. This could be Phoenix after the fungi takeover.
No, we're putting these in basis of fact and reality. Again, this would be somewhere between Dune sandworms and locusts.
We're ranking them.
Because this is right near the Mayo Clinic.
You know what? While we're at it, go ahead and rank the 5 choices that we just gave you in order of probability.
Clinic. Do you know what's going on in the Mayo Clinic? I don't know what's going on inside there.
Fair
they
point,
have research
right?
stuff going on there.
That's a good point. There's medical research going on right across the 101.
The freeway. Again, much more likely than the floods.
Maybe that's why Mayo wants to expand into this area too. So
maybe they know something we don't.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God. Let us know in the chat what your biggest concerns and don't be serious. Let's have fun with this.
Oh, we weren't being serious?
We'll get to serious next week.
We lost McDavid to a sandworm. Tremors.
That was good.
Oh man. Anyway, it's just fun.
Well, that was fun.
Fun
It is. And the reason it's in jest is because how many people seriously talked about these floods over the last 24 hours? It was driving me insane.
About it. I watched the video. Am I really? Why did I watch this? First of all, but really,
a flood there. You're out of your mind. Again, there's floods in Arizona, in the North High Country, closer in these small little towns. They're not happening here. They'll do flood mitigation around this building. This is a large metro area where this building is going to be. I know it looks like on the pictures that you're seeing when you're sitting in your apartment somewhere in Boston that it is not like a built-in area. It's just a desert. Buddy, there's stuff all the way around it. It's a very, very busy metro. We got to go there. I'm going there.
Yeah, you should go there.
I literally am going by there tonight. Because I live there.
Don't go there at night. The aliens might be out.
Yeah, that's true.
And all kidding, you know what is out there right now? And this is true. And this is kind of sad. And I'm not getting into a social commentary. No, there are coyotes there too. It's it's starting to get a very large homeless population. So that's true. And it's sad. Oh. So that is happening. And that's something that will be discussed as this goes on, I'm sure.
Yep. Okay. We have a couple super chats I want to make sure we get to. First one comes from Peter. He said, "Great show. Thanks so much, Peter. Appreciate
Peter's
you."
coming from somewhere else, too. He's not a Coyote fan. Peter's a somewhere else fan.
Oh, let us know, Peter.
Was Peter a Ducks fan?
I don't know. Mike.
We could ask.
Mike said, "I would worry about aliens before a flood." Us too, Mike.
In the ranking, I think aliens are above flood.
We're all on the same page here. And we got another one. They move dirt to stop floods. Duh.
That's it in a nutshell. Yes.
They dig holes and they put dirt there. It's true.
Oh my gosh. Well, I know
Sean.
Sean came here for the vibes and he is just catching strays.
Yeah, I just said some guy sitting alone in his apartment in Boston was not referring to Sean. Sorry, Sean.
Sean, you don't even live in Boston. You live in Somerville.
I don't know what that means.
Come on.
Oh my
adjacent
goodness.
With baby?
It's like a Cambridge adjacent.
I miss the baby little jump-ins into our shows.
When we would be at home. Yeah.
We miss baby around the shows. We miss deposit.
Nicholas said, "I can see them digging and boom, out pops a sarlacc pit."
I don't. Anyone help me with that one?
It's a Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
I watched
All right.
that.
Well, I hope that when the new arena opens.
Peter's a Coyotes fan in Florida.
So you were
I was right. I was partially right. You were in Florida. So it's late there.
Thanks for being here, Peter.
Midnight.
It's late. It is approaching midnight for him.
Four Peaks. Really, I hope there's plenty of Four Peaks on the new plot of land at the new arena. We need it. Oh my gosh, we're going to be enjoying Four Peaks at our pregame party on the 24th before at the 8th Street Pub, 3 p.m. on that day. Again, tickets are still available. Make sure you stock up on Four Peaks. We're going to have a lot this weekend between the wedding tomorrow. We have Craig's St. Patty's Day on Sunday. It's a big Four Peaks weekend for us here at PHNX. So make sure you stock up on your Four Peaks. Visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all your favorite beers and events. Check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please enjoy responsibly.
And then get in on the Arizona Lottery's new ticket and promotion called Arizona Adventure. There are 3 ways to play and win big. You can play and scratch the Arizona Lottery tickets featuring 3 iconic landscapes of the state of Arizona. And then you can check in at geolocated adventure locations at 10 destinations across the state, all the way from Flagstaff to Yuma and several right here in the Phoenix metro area. Or you can enter your tickets online for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes. The Arizona Lottery is not just about playing games and winning prizes. It is also about giving back to the state and its communities. Visit azadventure.com for more information on how you can take care. Oh, I was doing so good. I wanted to do it so serious. We've got the entourage is here.
I think that's what's making the show get a little off. We're a little nervous.
You can visit azadventure.com for more information on how you can take an adventure for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes.
All right, let's wrap things up here.
I wonder if they'll pay us for that, Reed. Or do you think we'll get like there's something behind the curtains thing? They review all of these ads. These companies that pay us to read these ads, they review them all. And I have a feeling the box might not get checked for the Arizona Lottery today and the Arizona Adventure Lottery game.
Oh,
by the way, the tickets are immaculate, beautiful tickets.
They are. They're crazy,
fantastic. I'm going to give them out as gifts for people because they're so
great.
Cool looking.
They're great.
Best tickets ever.
All right, let's wrap things up and take a look at the punch card because finally there's a little check of green in that sea of red. And I know Craig wants to see a lot more red. I'm sure we will, but we can mix it up with a little bit of green.
Yeah, I think there's going to be plenty of losses here. And this team went on a tear last March. I know that. And once you get out of the playoff race and once the trade deadline is over, there's no more pressure on this team. They really have nothing to prove, so they're not in that anxiety-riddled locker room. They're just going on playing. So they are going to get some more wins. They are. I just don't think it's going to be enough to propel them into any meaningful position. I do think they're going to lose enough that they're going to be picking somewhere between 5 and 7.
Any final thoughts on this game before we wrap up?
I'm surprised. I keep coming back to this, but I'm surprised at the Red Wings.
Yeah,
surprised at the level of effort from that team that's fighting for a playoff spot. Because this, again, it's about meaningful games. When we talk about rebuilds, you want to get to this point. This is a step in the process. Whether they make it or not, you're playing meaningful games this time of the season. That's something that all GMs talk about. Well, what'd you guys do when they played in those meaningful games? They caved. Yeah, they caved completely. That should probably be a matter of concern with the GM, with Steve Yzerman right now, watching the way his team is responding and wondering, okay, what do I need to do to fix this? Is it just a maturation process, or are there greater issues here?
And I think one of the things to look at in Detroit and in New Jersey and all of these teams that are teetering around it, I think what's really important to look at is how the goaltending has affected these teams when it's mattered the most, and how important it is to have a goaltender that can help carry you through this. And a great example is the New York Rangers, where a team that was struggling around the midpoint of the season, Shesterkin, is on a tear right now. He's elite, and that team is continuing to move up in the standings, and they're going to easily win the Metro Division because of it. So those teams in that middle of the pack, you've got to hope somewhere in your pipeline and somewhere in the development process, you've got some goaltenders coming up. And I think that's when we talked about in today's show. I think Arizona has that. It's just you're going to have to wait for them.
Yep.
Well, the good news tonight, the Coyotes won, but so did the Ottawa Senators, and the Columbus Blue Jackets got a point in overtime. So Ottawa keeps pace with Arizona. Columbus gains an extra point. It's a 4-point difference between Columbus and Arizona, 1 point between Arizona and Ottawa, so still very much in that mix.
Sens have 3 games in hand too, right?
Yeah, that's true. Plenty more opportunities for them to win. So we'll keep our eyes on the upside down standings as we move forward here, but it is just nice to mix it up with a little bit of joy, despite Craig trying to make it negative. For once, it's so weird. This feels weird. Craig being the negative one, Petey being the positive one. Petey positive. But we appreciate you all so much for being here. Be sure to hit the thumbs up on this video before you head out, and make sure you subscribe to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel so you don't miss when we go live, and you also don't miss all of our extra content as well. And of course, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review while you're there as well. It really helps us out immensely. You can follow us on Twitter at S. Peters Hockey, at Leah Merrill, at Craig S. Morgan, at Abrica Danielle. Follow the show at PHNX_Coyotes. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody. We will have the audio episode tomorrow, and then we'll see everybody on Saturday.
We all silly like the mayor.